Right, today I've been meaning to do a vlog style video for a while again, and I haven't got around to it, but one viewer from the last video asked for a bike check, so that's what I'm going to do. So up front, I run a Midas tire in the front. I'm not that fussy with tires on the front of the bike, to be honest. They're all as good as each other. Service disc cover. I also have a new Motomaster front brake caliper, and with that I'm running a Brembo front master cylinder. Come on, show you. Because the hose comes out the back of the cylinder and not the front like the Magura. So if you hit a tree, it's not going to take the impact as bad, all that carry on. So I also have a Kraga, or whatever you call it, pull strap. Good for getting yourself out of trouble. On mine at the top of the triple clamp, because I don't like it being down below because it hangs real bad in your mudguard. And as you can see here, it scuffs the mudguard, and I like keeping my plastics good, apart from that hole in the headlight. Up front I also run cone valves. Well, they're not cone valves now, they're the Exact Pro. Got them out of HTM. Haven't touched them ever since I got them. The setup's been mint. I did run the new Explore inserts in the standard fork, and I thought they were great, but once I went back onto the Exact Pros, I couldn't go back to the older fork again, so stuck with them. Up front in the cockpit, I run 999 bend Renthal twin walls. I also run X-Trig rubber mounted clamps. I have just fitted a ZRT throttle tube. Don't look at that wrecked bit there, come on. I have a ZRT throttle tube, roller bearing end on it. You actually have to cut your handlebars, which isn't the best setup, but for how good it feels after, it's well worth doing. Setting new cables and that, the bike's mint. It almost fell over there. It's gonna fall again. So this bike is actually an XC, so it doesn't come with the dashboard, just comes with an R meter and fuel light, all that carry on, basically everything you need. Come this way. So you might have noticed I have a Get map switch in my handlebars, but it moved the injectors off the head, different ECU, all that carry on, but it was a load of not buying material that. So I'm back to standard now and it's hard to beat. We'll move to the middle of the bike. So I have Bulletproof Designs TPI throttle body majiggy cover thing. I also have an S3 Extreme head. It's really good off the bottom. The bike's brilliant off the bottom now with that head. So this bike, because it's an XC model, the gearbox is... What are you doing? Yes, hello, go that way. The gearbox is slightly different. So on my old bike I used to run a 1252. On this bike I run a 1351. And it just feels like the old bike, to be honest, but there is a slight difference in the gear ratios, and unless you're Graham Jarvis or something, you'll probably not notice that, but it's there. I run Raptor foot pegs. They are, what are they made out of? Titanium Raptor foot pegs. They're 5mm down, 10mm back. The 10mm back's great for climbing hills and real technical extreme stuff, but see on the fast going you're probably better with like a 5 or just standard, because standard's hard to beat most of the time. Where you put your butt, I have an Enjoy seat cover. That seat cover's probably done, I don't know, 30 hours now, maybe more, and it's still holding up. It's like new, so recommend Enjoy seat covers. They're pretty cheap as well. I have a Kraga pull strap on the back also, just good for lifting yourself out of trouble. And FMF rear silencer. It's absolutely beat up now, but it still does the job. It's longer than a standard silencer by, I don't know, probably a good inch by the looks of it. Someone technical online will probably tell me different, but it looks a good inch.
A man's inch.
Shave it. For the rear shock, I have the Explorer. I still call it a track shock, but it's different. And the shock is unreal. I'd recommend buying the shock all day long. Bike never gets out of control and never gets me into any bother, so I go for that. I have Polysport. I think it's a Polysport clutch casing cover. I have an RFX brake lever because I keep breaking standard ones and I couldn't get a standard one quick enough the last day I went out on the bike, so I had to get one of them. Oh, I've got a flywheel weight. Got 120 gram flywheel weight on the bike as well, or maybe it's 150, I can't remember. But that fairly helped for the slippier days and riverbeds, things like that. It just tames the bike a wee bit and gives it that traction off the bottom that you're looking for. And they're cheap add-ons, so I'd buy one of them. So everyone that rides Extreme will also probably have one of these, but if you don't get one, it's a Husqvarna fan kit. Mine kicks in at 65 degrees and bike never overheats. I've got, what else? See this red pipe? That's off an ancient Honda because one day I bust my pipe. But I've doubled it up with a Samco hose just in case if I do hit it and it kinks in, it will take a bit more of an impact. What else have I got in this bike? I can't remember. So on the back, again, Super Sprox rear sprocket. It's been on it forever because it's got a steel outer ring and then the normal inner ring. Takes a good bit of abuse, but along with that I have a TM Design Works chain guide. You can change the inner slider so they last forever. Another Enduro engineering or bulletproof design, I don't know what it is, but it saves the bolts, point down there, it saves the bolts getting the impact in the swing arm and potentially wrecking your swing arm, so it's just like a wee swing arm saver thing. These graphics are some job. I don't know the fella that done them, so I can't recommend them, but they're top notch. Last forever, sticking anything. On the rear I also have the new MotoMaster MXC caliper with MotoMaster pads, and this is the first day I've actually tried it, so I can't. The dog's just destroying the place. But this is the first day I've tried it, and I can't tell you what it's like yet, but it looks mega and it already feels real good. It's supposed to take the heat better, all that carry on. Along with the caliper I have a solid rear disc, and I have one of them jobbers. I think it's, I don't know, Paul Bolton sells them, but they take some impact and see if you bend the disc every day you go out. For extreme riding you need that carry on. I also run 2 rim locks in the back. I'm pretty lazy, I just run them side by side because that's where the air valve was, but most people drill them opposites, but I get away with that so far. With my super soft tire on the back, I'm running a Metzler, but I normally jump around tire to tire, to be honest. Sometimes if a Metzler, Midas, X grip, whatever, doesn't matter. As long as you have a soft tire and it lasts long enough and a pretty scrap rear mousse or a drilled rear mousse, you'll not go wrong. So go back so you can see my bike. So this is my HTM 300tpi extreme setup. If I forgot anything, type it down there. Hit that other button, the like, subscribe thing if you want to. If you don't, I'm not that worried, but check it out. Cheers.